Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Great to be here for another Friday. Thank you for everyone that is tuning in tonight, watching the show. Please like, share, subscribe, especially on YouTube, and hit the notification bell. Dang, you poor loud. That was loud to the mug. Follow us on TikTok, Facebook, IG, all those wonderful places. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. What's up? A little sleepy, but I'm here.
Me too.
Yep.
I saw that.
You saw what? What'd you see?
That yawn.
Oh, well, I mean, it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it do. That's what's up. All right, I feel you though. And you mad. Um, so how's the week been?
Me? It's been chill. It ain't been too bad at all. A couple little roller coasters, but it ain't been too bad. We here, made it through. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's what's
not
up.
too bad at all. What about you?
Let me see. It's been all right. One of them weeks. Just one of them weeks. I'm still waiting to find that balance so I can coast a little bit.
Okay, coast a little bit.
Coast to just a little bit.
I ain't mad at you. Yeah.
And then we got Sicky over there.
What you call him? Sicky?
Uh-huh. What up? I'm tired. I'm just tired.
I bet. You probably ain't getting too much sleep with all that you got going on.
Well, I mean, it's just a lot. Like the book come out tomorrow, so I'm kind of nervous. So yeah.
Okay. So I have a question.
Yes.
So if I order this book from Amazon, is it coming from Amazon? Or is it coming from you?
It's coming. So how it works is Amazon is prints it out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay.
But I'm working on some things now that hopefully, knock on wood, I can do because I found out. So I found out they having a book fair in August here, and then it's another one in Atlanta. But they also have a black bookstore here, so that's why I'm working. I literally found that out last week, so I had to wait to everything go live so I can go back in and shift everything to the black bookstore, and so it could be like physically in the place. I know the price probably gonna have to go up because but yeah, cause right now, if you get on Kindle, it is $5.99, and if you get it on a paperback, it's $16.99,
Okay. All right.
and that's
Because
20. That's
I need mine specially autographed.
All right. Well, whenever I see you, I got you.
Man, hell no. That mean I ain't gonna never finna get this book.
All right.
Boy,
Well, if you say
yeah.
that, then it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, but you see, I'm drinking out the look like the solo cup. Like you got some liquor in that cup?
Nah, oh shit. Now, if I had liquor in that cup, I'd be asleep.
No,
The
no,
way I
never
feel right
mind.
now, I'll be dozing off.
Then we ain't gonna worry about it. Nope. We're gonna leave that right on alone. All
Mhm.
right. So, um, it was something DA posted this week that kind of came up with this topic, and then it was some conversations that I had during the week that kind of related to this as well, and I was like, okay, well, I always see that as confirmation. So,
Mhm.
here it is. So tonight's topic is back in the day when I was young. We all remember that song, "Back in the Day When I Was Young, I'm Not a Kid Anymore." Who seen that, D?
I don't know.
You just lost bestie points. Oh my God. Anyway, so um, and we think about and it says how the culture has changed. So if we go back and look at how we was raised and how we was brought up versus from the kids today, how much has changed and what has changed. um I've had this conversation even with my own child, um and it's changed a lot, especially with my oldest. So but the clip was really good, very informative. I didn't really want to share it tonight because I think we're going to end up pulling some more off of this clip. um but that's what tonight's topic is back in the day. So um post some things in the comments that you can remember from your childhood about how things were versus the changes of now. So do you want to start off tonight?
Who?
You.
Me? Do I want to start off?
Yeah. Why you act like you in shock?
No, because you didn't reference who you was asking. I didn't hear you.
Mm.
That's why.
Okay,
Um,
I said D.
I mean, not really. This ain't my topic, but I can start off. I mean, you say back in the day,
So
right?
I'll do
So
it.
how much was all right?
I'll do it. It's
All right.
because basically what it's talking about is that how in the community it has changed. There's no longer the village. There's no longer that village aspect in the black community. And um the lady in the clip was talking about how it was the village was made out of trauma, and the trauma that we experienced, we were like, we're not gonna have our kids go through that. And so we kind of shifted how we raised our kids away from the grassroots that we grew up on. So and looking at the whole picture, it's like kind of like it's a twofold thing because I said and before I was like, yeah, I agree, but then I had to sit back and look at the whole both sides of the coin because our parents and grandparents and people in our community were the last generation of the Jim Crow era. So we had to stick. They had to stick together. So it was you can go to Miss Mary house. They knew everybody, and then also too you had to look at in some places it wasn't a lot of people. Like if you think about how, like I can say it using my neighborhood from where I grew up, how it was built up. So it wasn't like a whole bunch of people there. It was just that community, and as time came along, people moved in, moved out. Folks, housing projects came, got torn down. Um, uh, Section 8 homes got torn down, and they put up new houses. And what happened with that? Folks had to move out because one, they either couldn't afford it, or the people who roots was planted there, they passed away, and the folks were like, I'm not gonna stay here. So they moved away. Um, so that I think that kind of played into part of why that village kind of dissipated. On top of the fact that dealing with trauma, because like we talk about it too on here a lot about how um we were raised in fear. Like we were raised by our parents and grandparents, like, hey, when you go out there, you can't do this, you can't do that, because you can't do this, you can't do that. And it wasn't out of malice, it was survival, because during those times, often, and everybody know it and they read about it, all the way up into the 80s, you go somewhere and disrespect somebody, you might not come home. You go into the wrong neighborhood and act crazy, you might not come home. So you had to live by a certain law. But uh, I can say this one thing I do appreciate about how we were raised is the respect, the respect thing. Granted, we were taught to respect everybody, even folks that didn't deserve to be respected. But we were still taught to respect people, and I think that's one of the the lessons that has been jaded or twisted. That's the word I'm looking for. Because now this generation, they have of the mindset of you got to earn my respect before I respect you, and I don't think that's a good way to start out, because especially like for the younger generation, for the younger folks, because if you don't know yourself, how you gonna know how you want to be respected? You see what I'm saying? Just because you're on this earth doesn't mean you understand what respect is. And I think that's what, and I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole with this. That's why there is a lack of empathy when it comes to us a lot. When you have these kids out here killing each other, it's because they think respect is fear. It's fear driven. So that's my soapbox. What y'all think?
Um, I want to backtrack a little bit and to take it back to the village mentality, right? So we all understood that the village was born out of necessity, right? The village, the black community, um, the way the neighborhood interacted with each other, was born out of necessity. Now, here's the reason why I wanted to point that out is because in some instances, right, people see the importance of the village and they wonder what happened to it. But you got to understand, there's also a level of responsibility that comes along with residing in that village mindset that a lot of people don't want to go back to. So it's like you can't take one aspect of it without taking the whole thing. And that's where the divide comes in. That it's like, yes, what I'm saying? I want the village aspect when it comes to us looking out for each other and stuff like that. But no, you can't say anything to my kids. You know what I'm saying? I want the village aspect when I need to borrow something or whatever, but I don't want you in my business. So, and I think That's the main thing, man. One thing that really stood out when I was listening to that video is when the young lady pointed out those extremes, right, in a lot of aspects, um, because of how our parents raised us, right. Most of us was latchkey kids. If we have younger siblings, we basically raised our younger siblings, right. I mean, and just did everything that needed to be done, but we was basically we took care of ourselves on a lot of levels. So now, once that shifted, we kind of gave our kids a whole lot more to make sure that they weren't in the position that we was in. Because sometimes in that village mindset, things happened that shouldn't have happened. People were trusted that should not have been trusted. So it made sure that we didn't put our kids in any of that could even potentially look familiar. So, and that's the thing. So we have to ask ourselves these questions because we often ask, "What happened to the village?" Going back to the village. Well, do we really want to go back to the village? And if so, are we willing to go back to the village, or does the village need to be altered?
I
Okay.
say, I think yes to both questions. We
I
need to go
agree
back. We need to go back to the village.
Tell me why.
to a point.
No,
No, and that's
I'm
why I'm about
asking.
to get.
And I'm
The reason
just
why we need to go back to a
for the
village,
sake of
one,
this conversation. That's why I'm asking these questions. We're having a conversation.
reason one, I say we need to go back to the village is a lot of history has been lost since then. A lot of knowledge, a lot of just education, period, has been lost since the village has gone a separate way. And it's just not talking about books, Mark. I'm talking about how to the barbershop, for example.
So
The
you're talking
barbershop and
about
beauty shop.
the cultural divide, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the barbershop and the beauty shop. Before, when we was growing up, that's where we learned what it, that's what we learned what a man is supposed to do. This is what we learn how a woman is supposed to take care of a man. They don't do that now.
Do you feel like that stuff that we learned was accurate? Because I don't.
Oh well. At
I learned
mine,
how to
yes.
be. I mean,
I will say this then. The barbershop I went to, yes, because it was the barbershops. Well, the barbershops I went to growing up, they were all about uplifting each other. They were all about building that bond. They were like, hey, an example I used to use all the time is when you got this kid that's a smart person, and everybody knows he's smart. Everybody knows he's gonna go somewhere. They protected him. So in the barbershop, they were like, "Hey, young man, you need to do this. You need to do that. Hey, what you doing in school? Hey, you need that's a good subject. Stick to this. Stick to that. Hey, don't talk to people like that. Don't I mean just teaching them because a lot of us again, single parent homes. They were like our unks, the unks of today. So they'll give us the game that we needed. And the same thing in the barbershop and the beauty salon. They gave them the game that they needed. Um, has it changed? Yes, it has changed because I know when I went back to the barbershop in my late 20s, early 30s, it was it's crazy. It was bananas. You got the barbers trying to fuck the single mom was doing all kinds of it's just a whole bunch of silliness and them cussing and just wilding out, talking about ass and titties in front of little kids. And then you wonder why everything so and well for me, I'm gonna just use me an example. I wonder why a lot of these kids in elementary school going in the bathroom giving head, shit like that. Because that's what they hear. There's stuff like that. That's one of the aspects I think needs to change. Need to go back to how we used to talk about trades. You always had that shade tree mechanic. Hey, with the one with the cigarette right here. But you can go over there and he'll sit there and show you, hey, young blood, hey, this how you change, the oil, this how you do this how you do that, this how you do that. Oh, smelled like alcohol and Newports. But he sat there and talked, showed you stuff. Um, and again, like I said, this is just how my neighborhood was. I don't know, everybody, like you brought up a good point. Everybody's neighborhood wasn't like that. From what I'm seeing, everybody's neighborhood wasn't like that. Everybody knew each other. We had it was a lot of shit, a lot of businesses, a lot of businesses was in the neighborhood. I.e. the candy, we call them the storehouse back in Florida, where you go, hey, I'm finna go to the storehouse. You go to this lady apartment. She opened the door. What you want, baby? You get annihilated and stuff like that. It was a lot of entrepreneurial stuff. Um, all of that shit went away. Like,
What you think, TK?
Now I'll agree. The barbershop scene is definitely different. And I say that from having a son and taking my son to the barbershop. We have switched barbershops a few times due to professionalism. Um, if you were to make an appointment, oh, I got you. You set it at 2 and it's 6 before you get your haircut. The conversations that were held in the barbershop were not only inappropriate and disrespectful to the women, but it's also with the kids that were in there getting their haircut. Very loud. Just and usually, it needed a 9 out of 10 a woman's touch because it wasn't the cleanest spot to be in. So I will agree in that aspect. Eventually, we did find a barbershop that was very professional, black owned, very professional. You could book you an appointment, and the conversation, and they respected the kids and the women that were in there getting, either they in there getting their own haircut or they in there getting their son's haircut. So I definitely do agree. It's a tacky environment. The barbers are trying to get with the single moms that's coming in there. They come in, and some of them coming in there dressed like they supposed to be on a Players Club. So that environment is different. Now, as far as the community thing and a village, they always say it takes a village, and I agree. Raising kids, it takes a village. But now you need to do background checks on your village. You just can't go send your kids over there to Miss So-and-so house and over here to so-and-so house, because 9 out of 10, there's something going on in so-and-so house. Or so-and-so got some other stuff they didn't done that you don't know about. So your village now needs to be peeped out to see who your village is in order to protect your kids. You just can't be sending it with any and everybody. So the community, like, I think there needs to be community in a way, but I also think the way that community comes together needs to be handled in a different way. There are a lot of people that was doing with the community, and somebody was getting touched and getting funny feels and all this other stuff off somebody else's kids, because we trust in so many people in the community. You can't do that now.
Here's my thing about it. I understand, the mindset it takes a village, right, to raise a child. Um, and with that mindset, it if we really sit in it, then it takes away a lot of accomplishments, right? I'm saying? A lot of people grow up and move away, this, and that, um, moving to nicer neighborhoods, nicer houses. When we talk about the village, right, and we talk about community, the mindset that most people have is the neighborhood, the people that lives around us. In order to go back to that type of mindset, a lot of stuff would have to change. It's and I get it, I understand, but the reality of it is, in order for a lot of these things to even remotely go back to what they could possibly be. And I'm not one um, to be like a stereotypical type of guy, but I say this lightly. We, right, would have to start our own village from scratch, if you understand what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, it's such a cultural divide nowadays, man. Nobody listens to each other. Older folks don't listen to young folks. Young folks don't listen to older folks. I mean, literally, man, it would have to be like starting from ground zero in order for these things to even, I mean, attempt to be possible. Now, I understand the sake of when we say it takes a village to raise a child, right? Most of the time, man, when we say that stuff, people are talking about financial responsibilities. You know, it's like I'm not going to call someone when my child is in trouble, but only when my child is in need. Like so, like all these things, man, play major weight with these types of conversations. Are you going to be involved in all aspects? Like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? If you got caught doing something in the neighborhood, you got in trouble 3 times before you got home. Now, ain't nobody gonna say nothing to your child because you be like, you better not say nothing to my child. Don't put. I mean, you know, it's a whole different mindset. So we got to really ask ourselves these questions.
Yeah. So Simone had posted a question. Um, and I know it was all kind of off of what DA was saying about the respect. Let me pull it back up. But she said, back in the day, we had to respect our elders, regardless of how they treated us. Why is that?
I mean, because it was a mindset that was incorporated in our elders. Like, um, sad to say, but no matter how they were treated, they had to respect the people that was mistreating them. Now we're already, you know what I'm saying, we already know how that conversation looks, but it's just a mindset that was pressed upon our elders. So that's what they pressed upon us, you know, so on and so forth. And and that's kind of part of what I was talking about when I said going back to a certain mindset that we're not ready to go back to. Like all of these things play a major part in what we know as the village, you know, and that's why I say like some of this stuff, yeah, it may have looked good at the time, but the way we were taught to be men, even from the barbershops, a lot of it wasn't healthy. Some of it was healthy, but a lot of it wasn't healthy. You know, I remember going to barbershops and hearing conversations like women are to be seen and not heard. These are stuff that I learned at barbershops. I remember going in barbershops and hearing conversations, you know what I'm saying, centered around the more women you can have, the more accomplished you are in the community. And I'm just you know, speaking facts, going back to this village, man, we got to be mindful in that space. Now, yeah, that's it. But that's a great question, Simone.
I think, well, like DJ said, that they had to respect for the situation they was in. I believe that that should not have changed. I think, like the video said, we went from one extreme to the other. Like there's no balance and there's no middle ground. I believe everybody should be respected until it's time to not be respected. So, and I look at, and I guess because that's the way I was raised and what I've seen, look at the elders as a history book. So I'm looking at what they went through, what they did, how they moved as a history book. Okay, that's how you used to have to move. That is good on certain things, and on other things, I have to adapt that to 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 lifestyle now. So that's where I went back to the initial point of the village, and you said you asked the question, would it have to change? That's where the change would have to be. Like you said, the mindset. These are little facets that have of that mindset that need to change. That should change. Like, and everybody, and it's interesting. Like, it's still really interesting that you mentioned your experience in the barbershop. So my question is, if that was your experience in the barbershop, where was there anything to counter that, or was that just how it was straight across the board everywhere you went?
Man, a lot of this stuff I didn't realize was wrong until I got good and grown. You know, a lot of these things I just carry with me because when it's all you know, it's all you know, right?
Yeah,
Once you are exposed to
yeah,
different cultures and different villages, right?
yeah.
Some of
Okay,
them look familiar, some of them didn't look familiar, but with that exposure, there is more out there. I see
yeah.
how this can be healthy. I see how this can be detrimental, and so it just for me it just took exposure to differences, you know.
That's okay.
Yeah. And the respecting, um, my mom was very much of you gotta give respect to get respect. She didn't believe that everybody, no matter how somebody treated you, deserved respect. She'd tell you in a heartbeat. And that's how she raised us. Like it wasn't about being disrespectful, but if somebody's disrespecting you, then you ain't gotta be all respectful and still nice and all that to somebody, and they sitting up there literally disrespecting you. Nah, that we didn't do that around here.
And yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. And the reason why I kind of said it like that is because, like, yeah, we all have done, what's the word? How am I trying to say this? We all have had that conversation. Like, um, my people always tell me, "Be nice until it's time to not be nice," and I guess that's what I'm trying to get at as far as when you said you what you just said. So it's not like we just going around blind, like, oh, I gotta respect everybody. No, it's there's a line. There's a line. But I think the kids today got it flipped. They don't respect nobody. If they don't know you or they don't feel like you are a value part of their life, they don't give a fuck about you. And I think that's where a lot of the disconnect, some of the, no, I ain't gonna say a lot, some of the disconnect comes from because they feel like they can't benefit from dealing with you versus how, and I'm just using me as an example. I look at it like, okay, you got you at whatever, if it's a crackhead or a coach, you in that position, you got to that position somehow. So how did you get there? I can learn from the crackhead just like I can learn from the coach. I can learn things from what not to do, what to do in this situation from the crackhead or the coach. And that's what I've learned. Like you said, exposure. Being in the neighborhood, I've learned that I have some deep conversation with crackheads, homeless crackheads, just in there having conversations, sitting at the bus stop talking. People think he people think they crazy, but if you listen to them, they give you game.
I mean, but that's the thing though, DA. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna backtrack a little bit on what you were saying, you know what I'm saying, as far as the respect and you know, young people feeling like they can't benefit from older people, right? So we
Hmm.
gotta break this thing down because now uh, again, going back to the village, right? A lot of stuff, man, it just didn't make no sense, man. To me, right? I'll use some examples and experiences. Like it's a total difference, right? Um, getting in trouble from your parent than getting in trouble from someone up the street, right? Now, and the reason why I say that, just say for instance, you get in a fight, right? And you get a spanking from somebody up the street. some of that shit should have been cut out. You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference from not spanking to getting a spanking from your parents, if you understand the hell. And the reason why I'm pointing that out is because we saw them differences. This person up the street beating the shit out of me, right? But then I get home and I get a spanking, which it should be. So now, because we saw those polar opposites, no, this person ain't finna. I know how that looks. Like, so no. So we created this mindset, right? So again, it takes us back to where, how do we counter these things? See, we want to go back to the village, but understand the village means going back to exposure to certain things that may not be healthy.
Not necessary. I think
Yeah.
the biggest. So this
And
is
I don't curse. I'm
when you were
sorry.
just talking about it. It made me think of something. I think the biggest thing is that was back then that is not now is trust.
Exactly. And why?
Yeah,
Because
it's
people
trust.
mishandled your kids, our children.
It's not. Yeah, I could see that, but that's when it's okay. I could see. I understand it, and I understand the situation because it happened a couple times. But that's up to that parent to go and check that person. Like, don't put your hands on my child like that, like that. And I think, well, now that we're talking about it, that's probably what started the divide because people don't understand. Yeah, okay, yeah, makes sense.
That and it's like, you won't do my kid worse than you do your own kid.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's like that.
yeah.
And
That's
and
yeah.
and
Jealousy. That's the word.
we was
Jealousy.
them kids. Like, I remember this shit. So yeah, no, you're not gonna. And I understand, man. And and that's just on one level of it, man. There's so many other things that people we're supposed to trust, right? People that our
Mhm.
parents trusted mishandled kids. So yeah, like, yeah, it's cool when you need a babysitter, but is it cool when you need a babysitter? It's cool when you have to work
So then
late,
I wonder,
but is
does
it cool? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I wonder does is the village because it's generational, or is it because of
Because it was necessary for the
no?
time.
Hold on, or was it location? And what I'm getting at is a lot of times, I'm gonna use my dad's side of the family. My dad's side of the family, like they go back like 6 generations. Like everybody in that town go back like 6 generations. They granddaddy, great granddaddy knew each other. So everybody is like, you can't go nowhere. Oh, I know your daddy and da 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 da. All right. Where I grew up, it was more of transplants. People moved in from different places, moved in like in South Florida. Um, in the projects, you had people, excuse me, they may have grew up in Georgia, but moved down to South Florida. They grew up in South Carolina, moved down to South Florida, like stuff like that. And so it's a whole bunch of different area cultures coming together as a village. So and now that you see, now think about it, that's part of the thing that we have to look at too when it comes to that. Is this generation after generation after generation, or is this something they throw together? Like people coming from South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, trying to get away from that situation to a spot, and that could lead to could that leads into what you were just saying. Your kids, you treat your kids better than you treat my kids, and you're supposed to treat them all the same. And that could be because up north they for whatever reason, or down south they for whatever reason.
What's the question? Oh yeah, like,
No,
oh, you just okay, just all
yeah,
right.
no, it was just a thought.
Okay, you just want to say something, G?
Oh, so going in between that, as we talking about the village, do y'all know y'all neighbors' names?
Here?
Yeah, where you are. Do you know the neighbor
I
to
know a
the
couple
right,
of them.
neighbor to the
Yeah.
left?
Yeah.
Not all of them. I know the neighbor to the right, the neighbor across the street, and a few houses up the block.
Yeah.
But in general, do I know their names? No.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was another thing because like when I was in Texas, I knew 3 people in that whole neighborhood. I knew 3 people, and I was just like, this shit crazy. And we're like,
Yeah.
we'll all be outside, we'll wave at each other, but we'll just keep it moving. And I was just like, that's just to me, that's weird because I guess again, the way we grew up is like our neighborhoods. I could go 2 streets over to Mike's house, and it was just like I'm at my house. Well, shit. Well, probably because the way the neighborhood was cracking shit, so everybody had to look out for each other. So yeah.
Why'd you ask
Well,
that
Because
and
I
question?
that's
know that some
now that I brought that up, that's another
people don't know their neighbors.
factor. That's another factor too. The era that we grew up in an era that needed a village because what was going on.
And that's what I was saying. It was out of necessity.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
um,
What else? Because I know even just talking about our childhood, like when I was a kid, we was outside. We riding bikes, running up and down the street, going to so and so house. We in the backyard. On if somebody got a trampoline, we on a swing
we told
set.
Eastwood up.
We
We
got the
told
park.
Eastwood up.
Man, we was out and about. The kids now, they want to be inside. They want to be on the video
But
game.
you know what's funny though, y'all? I feel like in a lot of ways the village is being revamped, right? And everything that's going on, man, nowadays, and with the way things could possibly go, um, a lot of people are buying acres and acres of land, and they're coming together, and because of the necessity, again, um, if things get chaotic the way people are saying, then I think that village will come back together. Now, of course, revamp, of course. How long will it last? Well, it depends on the level of trauma that people experience through whatever is going on. Um, you know, the village that we was raised up in was born out of trauma. You know, out of a lot of Jim Crowish aspects. Um, so I get it, man. It's some things that we need to get together and we'll work on just in case to build our village, you know, our tribe, our community. So
And on something you just said that kind of made me think too. When you said when we were talking about our kids, I think to them their villages is digital, and I had to understand that with my child because when he was younger, he was talking to one of his friends. He kept calling his friend his friend. I'm like, where the fuck is it your friend? This is when we was in Texas. I'm like, who is this friend? I'm talking about like every time I turn around, like for hours on hours, they just laughing and shit. I'm like, who is this dude? Oh, he is such and such. I said, okay, where he live at? I need to meet his parents. Oh, they're in Virginia. Now we in Texas now. I'm like, pause, timeout. Mm-mm. I said, you might be talking to some fat dude in his mama basement in his drawers. Like, you don't know. But come to find out, it was an actual kid. Because when we moved to Virginia, they said, hey, let's link up. And it's funny because his dad had the same thought I had. Like, you might be talking to some dude in the basement. And so we finally met. And when I tell you, we was laughing our ass off, but it was the reality. And that's what made me think, like, our kids' village is bigger than ours because their reach is further, but it's not as tangible as ours.
Mm.
So it, like you said, it has been revamped, but it's lacking some stuff. Like ours was lacking stuff. Like our stuff was lacking the emotional aspect of it, the emotional and the informational aspect of it.
Yeah,
Now they got the information and the emotion. They missing the tangible.
yeah. And that's another one of those two extremes, at the
So
same
then,
time.
so we talk about what would make a good village.
How would a good village look?
Yeah,
Is that the
like
question?
yeah. What would it look like?
That's good, man. I'm gonna
Because
say,
everybody talking about it takes a village. Okay, what does that village look like?
yeah, and that's my point too. Like, for one thing, it starts with looking like us.
Well, I'm
That's
finna say
me. That's just me. That's how I feel. I know how
no,
you
no, no,
feel.
no. I was about to say, there's a I want to say it's in somewhere in the Midwest where people that don't look like us are building their village. Like literally,
That's for them.
yeah. But I'm saying they're
That's
doing
for
it, so
them.
why can't we?
We
But
can.
there are black people that have started building their own village slash
Atlanta,
subdivision.
Oklahoma.
Yep, in Atlanta. Yep,
I've heard Atlanta and Oklahoma so far that I know of. North
yep,
Carolina too. Yep.
Where it's a all black
Yep.
yes,
everything, like not family
yes,
related,
Yep.
all
and it's
black.
in the bylaws that you have to be.
A bunch of different families came together, bought up
Hmm.
hundreds of acres, and
Yep,
they
So
are building communities.
yep.
Yep.
So
So
it's happening. And the other part to that people are starting to do, there are families that are starting to buy up land and build houses in their
that's
own
right.
space where everybody's on one plot of land. They
Yep.
got their house over here, got their space. You can walk to Annie house over here, walk to Uncle house over here.
yeah,
Everybody's on the same space.
yeah. I
Yep.
mean, family part. Yeah, I don't count family. Well, shit.
But these are
Count,
people that are
count.
not like blood family, like different families.
Yeah,
So,
but no, I don't count family. But you got to now because hell, families are so
mm,
broken right now. It's yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So what do you think, man, about how that looks? Same question. The new revamped village. How would that look to you?
First and foremost, um, make sure the village will have the resources to support it. Like if I was to do something, it will be driven by the people that's living. It will be maintained and driven by the people that's living there. Like how we were talking about, like the stores and stuff will be people that's in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that's the first thing and because I think that part of a village has to be supported by the people in the village because then you'll take pride in what's going on. If you have, again, I'm gonna use my neighborhood for example. We got like a whole bunch of stores run by people who don't even live in the neighborhood, and you can tell because the way it looks, just by the way it looks, you can tell they don't live there. And so that's one aspect of it. And then the other part is they're taking the money out of the village and taking it somewhere else. So that's why I say everything will be like I guess self-contained. And then like, after that, it's just again, it has to go back to the building of trust. It'll be more events. It'll be you have to like because like that's one thing I miss about the old neighborhood. People started to do random events like neighborhood events to get to know the neighbors, to get to see who's in the neighborhood, not just to get to know. And it was open to everybody. But that's how we got to know. Like you said, do you know your neighbors' names? Um, that's how we got to know our neighbors' names. We got what they say. I grew up in the 1990s and 2000. We used to play outside all the time. Yeah, all the time, all the
Yeah.
time. We used to play outside all the time.
And she also said it's important to consider the types of people that are in your village. Every villager isn't a good person. Highly agree.
Exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
But then so then that goes back to then we getting into some deep water. So now we get into isolationism,
Why do you
selective,
say isolation?
because like you just said, got to consider the types of people in the village.
Right.
So now we're saying, okay, who we're gonna let in and who we're not gonna let in.
So you mean being selective?
Yeah, but when I say isolation, is like you're isolating that person.
They ain't isolating. They can go to another village. We don't need nobody in the village that got issues. They can go somewhere else. Find a way somewhere else. Because yeah, like you said, everybody ain't good. So if you're trying to have a village, let's be real. Are you gonna let an offender be in your village that you know is an offender?
Are they recovered?
I wouldn't give a mother fricker the frock of the fork.
Yeah, they recovered. Yes.
Nah, they ain't recovered, uncovered, whatever. Now,
If they recover, if they not doing it, what skill do they provide? Like it has to be something because everybody's gonna have a dark past. There's people out here that's done murdered folks that we don't know about. Are
true.
we not
That
gonna,
that too.
no, are we not gonna let them in?
So you gonna let a killer in the village? That don't mean that he a recover killer. He probably just got that thing that he just get a high off killing folks.
So now we get okay. Now we get in hypothetical, real
Hey,
hypothetical.
because it can happen. Everybody that was an offender don't mean that they're a recovered offender. That itch is
That's why
still
I asked the
lurking
question.
somewhere. That's what I'm saying. That itch is still something probably there, and it's just probably getting warmed up.
Well,
Little
okay,
nice
then we
little
got to do all that. Then
stuff like that. I mean,
hey, we
come
doing
on,
all that. Then
let's
fuck
be
the village.
real.
Perfect. Let's keep it the way it is, there.
Man,
I'm
this
just
is
serious.
the thing, y'all. Let's
Huh?
take it back, right? You know, is let's talk about the culture and the culture changing and all that stuff. I mean, isn't that the goal, right? So it's like even going back to the village mentality. You know, I'll say it time and time again. We understood the benefits of it for the time. Um, that we was in. Like nowadays, man, like the culture is totally different, man. Everything is totally different. Like the culture, like Da gave a good example earlier about how the culture is so mixed up, and it's from people coming here like us, right? Like we don't live in the same aspects that we was born and raised in. Like we live in total different cities. So even that right aspect. So like how would that even look, man? To even attempt to bring some of that. I mean, it's just different, man. It's not good or bad. It's just different.
Yeah.
I I hear what I think you can though. Like you can take that mentality somewhere else. Like you can uproot that mentality. Um, it's just that the when you uproot that mentality, is you're gonna have to tailor it to wherever you land. because you might have some, you might be around some antisocial people, some people who really don't want to be. But if the shit hit the fan, they right there. But if it's just like any other, and shit, we had people like that in the village. You only seen people, we only seen them when the shit hit the fan. Any other time, they throwing up the deuces and going about their business. But yeah, but you just have to adjust, and that goes back to something you said about the question you asked earlier. Is it going to be the same, or is it going to have to adjust? It's going to have to adjust. One, because the biggest thing is because of technology. It's going to have to adjust for technology.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is we need to just start
Huh?
I think the main thing is us having our own,
Yeah.
like our own communities and stuff like that. And yeah, I said,
And you know,
like when I said I didn't got arguments about it, but man, take us back to when they had their own and we had our own. Take us back. I said every chance I get, and I'm standing on it.
yeah, and that's I agree with you on that one. That's the thing. We had our own. We did our own. We were self sufficient. That's why I said everything has to be that same way. But the problem with that is though, back then folks will get upset and start to quirk out and do things now.
Because they see us
this you breaking up, or it might be me. Is it me?
Because they seen us and leaving them behind.
Yeah, that's him.
Is it me? Am I breaking up? Am I turning into a transformer?
I'm breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
But one thing I said though, and I think people people look at me strange when I say this. I like the energy of the YNs. I like the fearlessness of the YNs. The thing I don't like about them is their focus. How they're focused. They're focused at each other. And I say if they focus on like what we're talking about, they will take the culture to another whole nother level. But there's a focus on all the silly shit that they see. But their energy and their fearlessness, that's the type of shit that Malcolm X was talking about. That's the type of shit that a lot of the the civil rights people were talking about. That energy, need that energy. What,
See the question?
Is it fearlessness or just ignorance of
What'd you say, TK?
Oh no, I was reading what Q said. Is it fearlessness or just ignorance and consequences? I think it's fearlessness. They know the consequences. They know because I hate to use the first 48, but every time you see them get behind them closed doors, what happened? Motherfuckers start singing, so they understand the consequences. They understand the consequences. But yeah, if they focus that on rebuilding the village, man, look.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is, and when you talk about mindset shift, we got to get out of this South mentality. 99% of the black people in America go from Virginia to Florida to Texas. That's it.
What do you mean by that?
That's if you look at a map, that's where 99% of the black people are located. It's a whole nother part of the country that we can expand to and stretch our legs. Now we start doing, and you talking about buying land, that's where the land's at.
Yeah.
So Simone said the YNs channel their energy and fearlessness towards the wrong things.
That's my point. That's my point. If they focus on the right things, they could change history, change the culture.
Uh,
He said, "I ain't going to myself. Yo, I don't blame you on that one. It's too cold up there."
no. And he said civil rights energy was focused. YNs appear to be doing it for no reason.
But this
It's
is
focused on the
my thing,
wrong
though,
reason.
right? This is I want to rebuttal to that statement. Yes, that is true, but it's only because we don't listen to each other. I cannot say that the YNs don't listen to the older people because that's true, but the older people don't listen to them either. Like, man, I was watching this interview, right? And I know you probably saw the interview, DA. It was a roundtable interview. Clifton Powell was on there, and some other
Yes.
young and some older cats. And as some parts it was okay, but the moment anybody got passionate, older or younger, the other individual was shut down. And if we listen, right, because there's some experiences that YNs have that older people will never get because we just don't have that mindset. And then likewise, there's some stuff that we have, but they'll never have those lived experiences because times are so different. But in order, man, to bridge that gap, man, it just takes listening on both sides. Because I can tell you how to get here, and I can't tell you the amount of trouble it's going to take to get here. But if you keep going, it's right. But it's up to us, man, to just open our ears and just try to absorb those differences. Because I've been 25 years old, but I've never been 25 in this economy and society. So
Yep.
yeah, it's just total different, man.
Now I'm thinking. I said, I wonder is that shit by design?
Everything else is it's
I wonder
unfolding
is
in
it by
front of our
design?
eyes.
Keep us not talking to each other.
The moment we understand that, man, and really start talking and listening, it's just like y'all said, man.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah, very much.
So I don't know.
But it's gonna take conversation like this to continue, not just have it one time and once on one show and that be it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I know I'm finna get on a tangent right now, but I really hate when folks be like, "Well, you N words always be doing this," and I be looking and I'm like, I swear you look just like the people you talking about. Like instead of pointing the finger, give a solution, give some type of like, okay, stop doing that. We need to focus more on this. I mean, it's like it's always talking crazy about each other, and they just go back and forth. And I just be like, like I ain't gonna front. Some of the stuff Charleston White say, it makes sense. It's just his delivery. But anyway, all right, back to the community. So, do you think it's dead or is it just at right now it's dormant?
Nah, I don't really think it exists right now.
Mm.
When being on, I'll say social media, one of the biggest things I see in a lot of groups is what happened to the village. Where's the village? I see a lot of people complain that they don't have a village.
And what
So I'm gonna
aspect are
say
they talking about though? Like when they make them complaints, what's missing in their life?
Or
support,
shit. I would say shit.
the
Ask them. Ask them.
information and knowledge. It's like, you know how they would always say we grew up hearing iron sharpens iron. You don't really see iron sharpening iron anymore in that aspect. It's so many people that prefer to gatekeep now versus as sharing knowledge.
Mm, okay, makes sense.
So yeah. So it's in a lot of different aspects. Just helping. You know, you may have somebody near you that's a single mom, and you know she's struggling, um, or just needing some help. You know, watch a kid while they go to the store, or you know, help doing nights. You don't really catch people too much like helping each other in that aspect was, hey, you work mornings, hey, I can watch your kid during this time, and hey, since I work nights, you watch mine. Just being of help, just simple things. Yeah, maybe if you see the neighbor elderly lady that you know is don't have nobody and her grass is high, how many people
Mm,
really gonna go cut grass?
Um, let me tell you why I asked you that question, right? In in what aspect, right? Because when we hear people talk about the village, right, it's always from the aspect of how can I benefit from the village, not what can I contribute to the village.
Mhm.
bingo.
That's the reason why I asked you that question. What happened to the village? Okay, start contributing to the village and let's build the village. Let's revamp it. Like it's not going to be the same. However, we can come to some sort of village if we all stop looking at how I can benefit, but also how I can contribute. Like that's
Yep,
the mindset that we have to bring to it.
yep.
If you,
And that goes back to what I said
yeah,
earlier. Everybody was like, "What can
their
I get
yard,
out of the village?"
cut their yard. I mean, if you, I mean, it's just stuff like that. I'm sorry, Dia, go ahead, bro. You was talking.
No, that's what. No, like you, everything you said, I agree with. It's like people are had a hand out. Like, okay, what? How's this gonna benefit me? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
And I saw what Q wrote, and yeah, it's true. The neighborhoods are dying because one, they're being gentrified like a motherfucker. Like,
can you read the comment? I
Definitely.
can't see it. I don't know where y'all seeing the other comments at, but I'm missing them.
oh yeah,
Okay, Q said can't have villages anymore because black neighborhoods are slowly dying.
mm-hmm,
My childhood neighborhood is being turned into pickleball courts and soccer fields. My
yep,
dad is having to move in a year, and there are
yep,
fewer villages and apartments because people change neighbors every 6 months.
yep.
True story. And that's the point I was making about having our own to where they can't gentrify it and stuff like that. So, yeah.
But that goes back to what we said earlier too. We have to buy our own shit instead of getting a damn buying getting an apartment.
Mhm.
That's the thing. It blew my mind. Like it it it. I never understood that, and I used to always get talk to these young cats and like, oh man, I done got me an apartment and da 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 da. And I'm like, you got your apartment? Yeah, that's dope. Oh yeah, I put all my Jordans in such and such, and I'm just like, you got an apartment with 150 pairs of Jordans,
I
driving a
mean,
BMW.
I don't know, bro.
Yep.
If it's just you, you got no kids, no wife. Get that apartment out.
Why not get a house? That's how you start
When you
your
get a
business.
house, you're gonna have to pay the taxes every year. It's what's the difference? House, apartment.
You know, you can write that shit off.
I'm just
And
saying.
with an apartment, you paying somebody else shit, and at one in point in time, they can be like, "Oh, you know what? It's time for you to go." A house, nah. Unless, as long as you paying it, they can't force you out your shit. Mm-mm. But that's just my thought process. And I mean, I was like that too. I was like, oh, I was big apartment thing until OG hit me to the game. Then I start he hit me to a Colonel '06. He hit me to some game. Then I started talking to my grandfather. I was like talking to him, and I'm like, damn, I should have been listening to you my whole life. I'd have been really retired right now.
Mhm.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yep, gentrification is pricing people out of their neighborhood. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
We see it
But
quite a bit here in downtown San Antonio area.
why?
Downtown,
Why is
east
that?
side, all over.
Why is that?
Why is it?
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know.
I believe, and this is just me now. This is just me. Gentrification is our fault, and the reason why I say that is we have done so much dumb shit in our neighborhoods that it drove the prices down, and it made people, us in the neighborhood, like, man, as soon as I get the opportunity, I'm out this bitch. So you done created two things that will start that gentrification actually needs: low price and the mindset of leaving. If we don't drive the prices down, they're not gonna come in there. If we don't want to leave, if we don't leave, they can't put us out. And I'm seeing that and I've seen that in the neighborhood I grew up in, and I'm pissed off because now that I got the mindset that I have, I can't afford the fucking houses down there. If I'd have had this mindset in my 20s, oh, best believe I'd have bought some of them boarded up homes down there that they had on the market for $50,000. Now them shit's $500,000 for a 1,600 square foot home.
Yeah, but yeah, interesting conversation. I don't know. We're gonna have to find someone with more information on a lot of things to have on and have this conversation again. I think I might have somebody in mind that'll be good for a conversation like this.
Well, like when you say like information, like what type of information?
Just information, like we were talking about the community. We're talking about really just getting back to it, right? So in order to get back to it or to revamp it, then we will need people on multi levels, to be a part of it, of the village, of the community. That's what I'm talking about. Like, because the reality of it is, we don't want it to go back like it was, right? But we do want it to benefit and to contribute it on a lot of levels. But it takes strategies, man. It takes being strategic. So
Yeah, and I agree with Q too, what he just said.
what
That's
do you
the
say?
other
I
thing.
can't see it.
That's the other thing. Q said every neighborhood needs to have at least one person to attend city council board meetings.
I
That's the
agree.
only way we know what's going on. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And other thing too, I said this, and I almost got put out of church for saying it. But I was like, we got all these people in this church. Why the hell we won't hold a city council meeting here at the church and put your demands out there? They were supposed to work for you. But anyway, I agree with that. And then he said, I regret not being there when they proposed a new park in my childhood neighborhood. Maybe we could have stopped it. Yep, with more notice. And that's how it is. If you don't like the neighborhood I'm in, okay, a prime example. The neighborhood I'm in right now, there was a proposal to run the high voltage wire towers through everybody's backyard. Do you know how much hell these people raise? I'm talking about sent emails, showed up to the council meetings, everything. And the electric company like, nah, we're not gonna do it. We're gonna find other means, or we're just gonna keep the status quo. So the squeaky wheel works. But anyway, yeah, it's a good
Situation.
conversation.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, well, it's what, hour and 15 in.
Yeah.
We could go ahead and close out for tonight.
I like the conversation. We need to have more conversations about a village. And it's well, I tell you that we need to stop having conversations and have more action about building the village.
Yeah, agreed. And I'll say, stop being afraid to speak up. I like what Q said, man. Let's start getting out. Going to these meetings, these city council meetings, and even more than that, man. Like Da was saying, have our own, right? Uh, know what's going on in your neighborhoods and your communities, right? Man, there's an election coming up here next week where they're voting for a lot of local stuff, right? Um, do your research, man. Um, check out who's running for these offices, man. And even above that, right? Man, let's start coming together and having our own. Let's start building our own communities, our own villages, and stop waiting um, for things to go back. Things are not going to go back to the way they were. That night, period. It's not going to happen. We're too evolved. We're too much in a different space now. Um, so, but we can revamp it and we can have our own. You know, so that's it. I appreciate everybody. I am TK's best friend. I would change my name. That's a little inside joke, y'all. But yeah, let's. This was a great foundational conversation, right? So let's build off of it. All right,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. Oh yeah, and my book is out, Flesh and Fantasy with Chronicles of Wet Dream. Well, excuse me, not Chronicles. Wet Dream Collections. I'm sleepy. Wet Dream Collections, Flesh and Fantasy is available on Amazon right now. Excuse me.
Congratulations.
Please support. Please
Much
support. Please
congrats.
support. Please support.
Oh,
I mean, you don't have. You can just buy it and put it on the shelf, or buy it and give it to a gift. Give it away as a gift.
Yes. Definitely congratulations. Like I said, this is a long time coming, like 13 years of long time coming and me
Yeah.
reading out of your material. So I'm definitely glad that this is your time and that you got it done. Yeah. Oh, he said post it in the chat.
Well,
And you
shit,
posted.
I don't know how to. I can't post it in the chat. It won't let me.
Oh Lord. Okay, I'll do it.
It won't let me do it.
But yeah, whatever.
It
But
won't.
yeah,
No, I'm serious.
so
It said I gotta log in.
say you can't log in.
Hold
I
on.
don't know what all it. See, I don't know what y'all side look like. I just know what all my what my
I
side
can't
look
see
like.
nothing. I don't even know what chat y'all are talking about.
What?
What chat are y'all talking about? Why can't I see it?
I don't know.
So you ain't gonna tell me what chat y'all talking about?
The chat that the people that are watching posting. You used to see it before because you would comment to mom and you just commenting to Maurice.
That's because he on Facebook.
Oh, see, well, I can see it with whoever. Like on my end, I can see everybody. Like it shows Facebook, whatever social media sites we're like on, it shows them.
I don't know if they're watching on YouTube or Facebook or what, but it's all good. Just wonder why I
Yeah,
can't see the
so
other comments.
I don't know. Cause like Q is commenting on YouTube.
Oh, I don't know. I can't see his on YouTube.
Okay. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. That's weird.
I agree.
All right. So the name of the book, I have shared it. Flesh and Fantasy by
Put the link. Put the link.
Some
Put the
dude.
link.
I ain't got the link to put the link in here. Hold on.
Just go to Amazon and look it up.
He trying to make me work
Go to
today.
Amazon
Like,
and get it from Amazon.
Mhm.
It helps his numbers in a major way. It'll help.
yes.
So
Yes. So most definitely. Hold on, let me post it. Do it right now. So y'all can definitely support the man. He got what, the second book almost done?
Yeah, I almost got a third book done and a novel.
Exactly. So he been doing it to it. So yeah.
I'll start working on a novel
So
too. It's not a sex novel. It's just a regular novel.
okay, there you go. I posted the link in the comments. But yeah, and then DJ got his stuff that he's working on.
yeah,
Yeah.
mine should be out this summer. So
Yes. So I'm excited for my fellas. Very excited. I have some
appreciate
nice
all the
reading
support.
material coming up. So I'm excited. This is that year of my friends getting their books out. So I am super excited. I need some reading material. Yes. So that's what's up. All right. Well, we are going to close out tonight. But definitely thank y'all for rocking with us, tuning in, commenting in the comments. We appreciate it. Great questions as always, great feedback. But yeah, let's figure this thing out. I think there's a lot at where we are right now in life that needs to be figured out, because I think a lot of things have really been lost. So yeah, we need to come together and figure some stuff out, because a lot of things have changed because times have changed. Nothing is staying the same, and of course, you got to have growth and development in some way. So things are changing. So I think I know what next week will be about too. So it'll kind of be a spin off of this to a point. But we will see y'all next week, same time as always. Y'all be blessed.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move.